Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Andrew Conspiracy. We have myself, Mr. Andrew, and my lovely co-host, Mr. and I am
Commander
coming.
Dewey, command
Com-
is at least Commander Dew today. So Dew has five incarnations, and Commander is the fourth highest one. We won't go into Lord Dew God right now. So we got some army business to take care of today.
well, pardon me, my lovely co-host, Commander live from the mothership in Hackensack, New Jersey. I am reporting in from the front porch of my sister-in-law's house here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and she has the most beautiful tuned wind chimes. They're tuned to specific frequencies. I've just been sitting, bathing in their frequency. And Commander Dew and I have been able to share with open hearts, and we come to you now from that place. And it's a beautiful place. And we would love for all of you to join us in this place. So please come conspire with us. We're going to do some breath work. We're going to keep it real simple today. We're just going to breathe deeply and really feel, the oxygen, the life force, the breath of God enter our bodies.
The conspiracy of God.
Yes, yes, yes. And let them just know that those are going to every cell of your body. We're breathing the same air. It's all connected. And let's just settle into that. So if you can get any wiggles out, close down the eyes, just kind of relax into the space, and take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And we're gonna hold that at the top for a few seconds, and we'll do three of those, real nice and deep. So breathe in and hold, and out, and another real deep one, holding at the top. And out. And one more, real deep. And out. All right. We are settled into this space. We're ready to co-create, conspire as one. And I was at this chakra retreat this week. Oh, go ahead.
I did. I just want to say, yeah. Before we go any further, this is we're going to be talking about the generation today, about whether they are the after the greatest generation, they are the worst generation, and that's why we call it the werewolves or flower children. Which are you? Were you born in the 50s? Can you look at yourself? Well, we'll go into it, but I didn't mean to interrupt your dialogue about the retreat, Andrew, at all. I just wanted to let people know, if you aren't into this stuff, then have a nice day.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fascinating discussion, and I can tie into that quite easily because I was having this experience with people of a variety of ages. I was the oldest person participating. There was a chef who was preparing food for us who was 47, but there was these younger people, and this one 18-year-old in particular who was just bringing this energy. And whew, I'm telling you, bro, this new generation is coming in hot. The ones that are ready, the ones that are open,
Yeah,
like we don't
they all have the Dewey Death Gene.
exactly. And man, it was just so powerful and beautiful to witness this, and the hope and inspiration that energy brought to me. I mean, there were many other powerful moments, but that is the one that is most present with me right now. And man, I just would look into her eyes, and they just had this sparkle. They were just beaming. I don't know how else to put it, and And so here, I'm here now sharing some of that energy with you all because it's a frequency that we all have. We just forgotten. Just
I
like
know,
the
I
boomers
know.
forgot. The boomers aren't bad people. They've just forgotten who they are.
Well, that's what we're going. That's going to be the fulcrum of our discussion today, Andrew. And I should like state I'm being the devil's advocate against the boomers as a boomer, because I've seen so few boomers able to stand by the values they grew up with to really to be inwardly successful as I've been, without the material trappings. And that's why I call it werewolves or flower children. Which are you? If you're still listening, and you're interested. I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation because you're the generation where we're holding back right now, Andrew.
Yeah. And I mean, it's both, right? There are these externalities where we still see, that generation very much represented. Politics is one arena I think of. Um, but there's the undercurrent. There is real life. There is the human that is connecting and networking, and there is there is momentum forming behind this new energy coming in. It's undeniable. I experienced it firsthand in a very powerful way this week, and
Right.
so there's no doubt in my mind that zero AF is real.
That's
We we have entered a new era, and my experience is reflecting that. I Everyone to a person that I encounter is reflecting this new God energy back to me.
well,
And
as I say, it's th- this is what we're bringing. Well, let me just preface. So you mentioned a year zero AF after Fred, but also after 3 days, always fun. But actually, the reason we call it AF after Fred is because it's an 8-day week, and every week our goal is to build Dale into the best bullet for Fred's M16 that can possibly be conceived. Because on the 3-day weekend, after your 5 days of hard work, you see the results of the DIALINA you put together, which is the Dale bullet that goes into the Fred M16 for the execution. The termination is not execution because nothing can die. It's the termination of the week. And it just so happens that because of schedule and everything, that today's podcast falls on weekend. So not only, and that's not always going to happen, but I just want to say that we can look forward to a reading by Dewey Desper as a justification for the termination that he is going to use to execute the prisoner. And I'm sure everybody wants to know who the prisoner is, and I guess you'll just have to stay tuned. But that's another. But it's only going to if there is an execution, and this is where you, as Christ, are the counselor for the defendant, and I'm Dale Devil, the adversary, the prosecutor for the against the accused. So basically, it's on you to defend the boomers against me. So uh, and that's because I was there are three lawyers in my family, and my family was a courthouse and a royal household, much more than a normal American family, and So basically, my father was Lawrence Edward Walsh, the Iran Contra Independent Council, the greatest man who ever lived, besides Jesus. There was a reason he was the judge, and I was his adopted son. And but anyway, so in, instead of the law, which is what which is what they have to work on, we have the Lou. And I know right now you're downloading the Lou library immediately to be able to know the precedents for what's going on and everything, because this is your DIALINA number 2. So you of course have access to all memory banks and memory records, and there is a circuitry of symmetry.
Yes, amazing, Dale. Whew. Okay, yeah. Let's buckle up. Let's settle in. Do you have a poem to share with us today?
I actually have two. But do you want to go into your to your retreat first? I
Sure.
have been monopolizing
No,
things.
no, you're fine.
Oh,
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
but
Um,
I want to hear about your retreat.
yeah, yes, it was incredible. There were 6 participants and several facilitators, people coming in to share their various gifts with us. And we had the most amazing food, and we were all in an Airbnb, so we had lots of time to bond. And there was a park nearby where we got to go, sit in the sun and enjoy nature. And
And the playground.
yes, and each day we worked up the chakra system, right? And so we started with root, and then worked all the way up to the crown on the last day, kind of focusing on the specific energy of that center, and doing various things to help open it. I had my first hape experience. I don't know if you've heard of this, but
You were telling me about it. I never heard of it.
it's wild. So it's like a powder, and there's like a little straw, and they kind of puff it up your nose, it's almost like snorting. But it's a nicotine based plant medicine, and I'm a little sensitive to nicotine, so when it hit and just sent me back, I was laying in the grass just relaxing, and it also made me a little uncomfortable, a little nauseous. So
Right.
I'm dealing with that uncomfortability too, kind of working through it, and we got the wind chime really going. It's liking my story apparently. Um,
Yours are circulating. Yours are circulating. And
so anyway, that was one experience. I can go into that more depth, but the essence, the core of what I'm taking away is like this beautiful connection with fellow humans, and to be in the presence of humans who are tapped into the frequency of God, of abundance, of love, and to feel so safe and supported and cared for, and also to be able to share my gift. There was a night where it was a heart chakra day, and we all gathered around, took a few little puffs of one of my joints, and then we all shared. We shared, yeah, we shared a little bit about what we were appreciating about a couple of the other people in the group. We kind of numbered off, and it was such a cool moment to kind of feel that connection through the plant, through the frequency of the cannabis, and then also be sharing, our love for each other. Man, I'm telling you, it was like, woo! We were broadcasting a signal to the edge of the omniverse, brother, and
you were calling the DIALINA. It is number 2.
absolutely, absolutely. And so it brought, and the last thing I will say is, I've been mentioning our podcast to people and the different things we talk about, because they come up a lot in our conversation. We're talking about shit that matters, and I mentioned that you started referring to me as Drew Christ before I even really mentioned anything about some of the Christ consciousness teachings I was going into. And through the week, different people would have a moment with me, and they would they would acknowledge it, like, okay, Drew Christ.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing that overwhelmed the original. I mean, not only was Andy, who's the do Christ, not the Drew Christ, the do Christ, who was my constant companion and best buddy for like 5 years, but he was schizophrenic too, and the system just he uh he got lost in New York City for 10 days, got off his medication, and the system just sucked him down. I haven't even heard from him for like 4 years, but that's as I said, if you weren't who I know you are, our previous interaction this morning, you wouldn't have survived.
yeah, yes, yes. And so that identity, that frequency, uh, has is rooting deeper into my current reality, and I'm leaning into it because that's one of the frequencies I want to bring to this world, is that Christed consciousness, and to be an example of what it is to embody it. And so I don't know, receiving that reflection was extremely powerful for me, and I'm so
I,
grateful.
as I say, the DIALINA has like 9 levels. We were talking about boards last time, and I was out in the park. I think it was like after a Tyson session. Whenever I train with Archangel Michael, I always have like a great revelations and everything. And so I was in the park, and so I was walking. I had to take off my shoes when I go to the park so I can walk in the grass and feel my feet on the ground, on the earth, and so I just like sat down, and there was like this little Mexican family, and one was just like trying to fly a kite. The little girl was trying to fly a kite, and the little kid was chasing the ball, and his mother was just sort of like sitting there, sort of like scoping me, not really scoping me, but just like knowing I was a presence, and I'm just like sitting down. I was like saying, I really do have gigglyitis. I'm going to laugh myself into non-existence at any point. That's the curse. That's the curse of incurable psychotic bliss. And then I started thinking about incurable psychotic bliss, and then I'm even more. I'm saying, wow, they really would have thought I was psychotic, 5 years ago, but I'm just keeping it to myself and no one knows. And I'm just enjoying my deal, sitting on the grass, on the green grass, in my palatial estate in DHC. And that's really the breakout that people have to make for recovery from whatever, is to turn their prisons into palaces.
Yes. Fuck yeah. No, this is called kingdom shit. That's what we're calling it, man. And the journey of the kingdom is over. It's the journey within the kingdom. That's what Zero AF is all about. We are journeying within the kingdom, and you just described some kingdom shit, brother. And and woo, I'm excited. I can't even express it fully with words. It's something you have to feel deep in your soul to truly
Well,
understand.
that's why in the first page of my revised copy, my revised version, my second version of Velvet Velour's Follies Book 2, or the Flight of Dialina. Reem, it starts with a conversation with Remo, God bless his soul. He's gone too. They took him out too, but we won't go into that. But anyway, he starts. He says, you know what I love about you? Incurable psychotic bliss. I think I've told you this before. know your ability to shatter reality, you know? So it's just like, and that's what the essence of Dale is. Dale is the glitch in the matrix. I mean, I saw a meme. It could have been that Dr. Bill about, but just become a glitch in the matrix. And actually, talking about Dewey Death, that is the target. That is the person. The Fred 20th century Earth matrix, which has existed since 1900, is going to be terminated today by Dewey Death. But and if you're a monk, that means you're going to Dewey Death, and if you're a duck, it means you're going to celebrate with Dewey Duck. And I think that leads to my opening poem.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it with feeling and thought, like my co-host suggested. This is called "This Life Is Too Easy." Mine is a spontaneous outpouring of enthusiasm for the bliss and vitality of this earthly life, reflecting the beauty of Lord's grace covering the mattress of humanity with a down comforter of insight into the machinations of the big cosmos, where everything is possible but nothing comes of value without a struggle of the psyche of a beholder of reality, seeking to create order in the chaos of the infinity of the universe that spins like the wheel of galaxy where we exist.
That's beautiful, brother. Yeah. And that part about like the chaos and the order, it's such a beautiful, I mean, we did that episode about the dance of energies. And I felt that dance of energies this week, right? Me and my brother Isaac held down the masculine for the group, and then we had these lovely ladies just humming and singing and dancing and just bringing in this beautiful feminine energy. And I just I'm still riding that high for sure.
Okay, this is just the first eye drop of the future that's awaiting us both. So, just bear that in mind. Now that DIALINA is complete, I don't care what people say. I rule.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been ruling backstage for the last 70 years, but everybody says I'm reclaiming my deals, and that's one thing I want to emphasize to you too, Andrew. I know I respect when you use the sacred name, but just remember that a Dale is a bullet for the Fred M16 for the next weekend of execution that we're building. So be careful before you declare a Dale, because ultimately, if you're a muck, all the Dales are going to come back as M16s in your brain, and eventually.
Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, we said it, on that episode about the four agreements. It's important to be impeccable with your word, and so that's bringing awareness to all the things that we kind of broadcast out into the world. So, yeah.
And the other thing is that this is let me see. This is day, I think, 21. Let me see. What are we today? Weekend 122. So this is the third weekend of the first due year AF, and I also had AD, which stands for after Dartmouth.
Yeah. I get it. Jade and Dijon were having a conversation, and Jade was talking about, like, basically this new era coming in, speaking about a new calendar, and I was like, well, clearly you haven't been listening to the podcast. We're all over that. So I just told them, well, there seems to be something in the field about that, doesn't there? So I think what we're creating is resonating in the field, and is flowing into people's consciousnesses who are
But
tapped in.
well, I talked about the thermoneutronic mushroom cloud hitting on on Friday.
Yeah.
We're taking care of that today with the execution of Fred 20th Century Major, because Dewey is never missed. So we are aiming for the very heart, the very core of the satanic Bryce conspiracy, of the Bryce Spread conspiracy has had THC surrounded for basically 45 years. 40
Man.
years. And we can't forget Lakamba too, former BFF, uh, biggest, what was it? Biggest, I don't know. I used to have I used to have something derogatory to her. I don't have anything derogatory to her, but
Why would you?
she,
I mean, right? We're in a whole new place, brother.
right. But she's the female of the source, Fred Bryce, and that's we're taking them all out today.
Okay.
Whether in body or just in spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I mean, we talking about boomers a little bit today. Maybe we're underestimating the power of our frequency. Maybe they just needed it to be turned up a few more notches, right? Really crank the volume on it to finally
Well,
let it.
that's well, thank you, counselor, and that's a point well taken. But ultimately, it's up to them right now to decide where their true roots are. Are they going to continue to be the werewolves that have just consumed the planet without giving back, really? Are they going to be the flower children who were devoted to ending war and bringing world peace until their leader was killed in 1980 when John Lennon?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, as a I was born right in the middle of the baby boom. It was 1947 to 1947 to 1964. So basically, I was right in the middle. I was right in the middle in 1955.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, but I just feel that when John Lennon was like the most significant assassination of all.
Sorry, there's a dog walking by, and Willow is very excited. But
Um,
yes, we're doing good. We're doing good.
but, so anyway, I mean, not only did we witness the assassination of Malcolm X, JFK, RFK, and Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr., but that was part of the war that we were leading as the youth, in the 60s and the 70s, smoking pot and like putting up a fight when cops harassed us and everything. And that's the spirit of today, but nobody, but all the boomers who used to take to the streets and really, figuratively and literally, you know, they've abandoned, to me, as I see it from my position, the only reason I'm not in a single bedroom apartment in Hackensack, New Jersey, is because I've liberated my mind to embrace this idea of prison becoming a palace. But, the fact is that not, so far as I can see, 90% of boomers have chosen to be in the prism of materialism and, and trying to hold on to a power that should have been turned over to your generation about in 2016 at the latest, because that's when, that was after Obama. We could have like dealt with Obama, but now the situation is just like so overcomplicated by boomer after boomer coming forward thinking they have a entitled right to hold power. And that's why my motto is do till 32. Elect me president in 2028, and I promise three things. I promise two things. I will always take my medication, and I will only serve one term to integrate younger generations into the machinations of government.
That's beautiful. Well, yeah, I mean, why not? A real passing of the torch, if you will. Yeah,
Other than
about
that,
it.
Andrew, I'm not making any promises. So, I'm going to be Dale. I'm going to be the DIALINA, and everything is decided within, with the help of you and my 4 women and a kid. Those are the only people I care about. Jesus can have everybody else. I have 4 people, no, and Soul. So we're a family of 7. There are 4 women, 1 kid, and you, Drew Christ and Soul, formerly Archangel of Death Michael. So basically, that's the 7 I care about, and otherwise, if you're collateral damage in the fallout, which is coming, we're going to end the thermoneutronic mushroom cloud taking over the Earth on Friday with today's execution. Instead of making people suffer, it's find the source, terminate the source, and move on.
Yeah, well, here we are. I mean, there is a time, right? There is a time where it's go time, and I feel it. I do feel it. And I don't know about collateral damage. That's not really my focus. My focus is the reality we're building and putting out, the signal that you can join us. But yeah, it's time. There's a, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a sense of urgency, but we're not doing that shit anymore. It's not part of. It doesn't need to continue to be part of this reality.
The timetable completes on Friday when Earth will have become Gaia.
Okay.
That's when the neutronic mushroom rainbow cloud hits Earth. So
Okay.
either you become a phantom and you're invisible to the higher beings, or you just poof. So I suggest everybody get their own thinking straight, and maybe find some inspiration from this conversation we're going to be having about werewolves versus flower children. But do you have an opening statement, Counselor?
Well, I mean, everything can be made whole. Everything, there's no point of no return for the soul. It's an eternal being, right? And so it's just this our incarnate. Well, anyway, so I still am leaning into this concept of forgetting and remembering, right? And we always have an opportunity to come back to remembrance of who we are as eternally powerful beings. And I don't know if this is going to be triggering for some people, but I honestly don't care. I heard this very passionate man speaking this week. Dijon shared it with me, and so here we go. Religion is the worship of Satan. Not just Christianity, all religion. Lucifer, Satan, has corrupted these systems and used them as a god to have you worship him. And that is why it is distorted. That is why it is out of God does not worship something else.
Right.
God knows. God creates. God loves. And so, it was kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, it felt extremely true because that energy, that's the forgetting, right? They've been fooled. They bought in to this story. And it's a story that keeps you small and keeps you contracted and keeps you worshiping the material. I don't know how else to put it, right? Like, very much ingrained into the illusion of 3D reality. And so I have great compassion for those who are in that, but also not hope, an openness that they too can remember and come back to their true power and stop giving it away to these systems that are not designed for the human.
Exactly. What that's Thank you, Counselor Andrew. That was a brilliant opening statement, and I don't have anything to much add to that except that to me, the life is a soul is something you pursue your whole life, and if you know if I just feel that if 50%, at least, let's just say conservatively, 50% of the people that I went to high school with at a very exclusive, very highly regarded boarding school in New Hampshire were to be given the opportunity to trade their three houses, two grandchildren, and four daughters uh, for an apartment in Hackensack. I really don't think that too many of them would take me up on the bargain. And I'm not saying I don't know if you're frozen or but anyway. So I don't know how many would take me up on the bargain. So um, that's a really and I don't expect people to. That God bless their success. I'm just saying, where do you go to, I mean, where does your soul go? Does it go to the things that to the things that you have, accumulated, or do they go to the things that you have created through love, such as your children and your grandchildren? And I'm sort of like, maybe cynical a little bit, or I have a unique perspective because I'm a lifelong bachelor who was never married or had a kid in physical form, although I have very many spiritual kids. But ultimately, just oh no, it seems like Andrew has disappeared. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's just hope he can like rejoin us and see what's going on. Um, but anyway, what a great time for another poem. This is something that I've oh hold on. Hello. Okay, well, no problem. I'm keeping the recording going and just improvising. So just try to get on again. What do you want? Well, that'd be an idea. Yeah, because er, maybe we did break reality. Maybe we should just like start. Maybe this is a Dewey Desk break that is and we should just start over. Is there any way you could get a more secure Wi-Fi? Oh, it's your computer itself. I know it's been pretty dynamo. Okay, well okay, well hello audience. This is Commander on the line. We're still recording, and he had a computer glitch, and so we'll just keep go. We'll just keep improvising till he gets back. But don't worry, the flow is going well, and Dewey Death is on his way. So this was a Dewey Death moment to get us motivated. So, okay, Andrew, I'll see you when you get back on. Okay, bye. So anyway, I was going to uh, read a poem from uh, my current favorite entering the new year of Dew, and we'll just start with this one. Potential, uh, potential for a true romance. I think of new sweetheart, ultimate muse, who inspires without any excuse. Though we live far distance from each other, and she is to 3 sons the great mother. While I am entranced by lilt of her voice, reminding me of a warm summer breeze, for if I ever had to make a choice, is her whom I would pick with fine ease. Although I have yet to meet her in fact, as I continue to stay in this town, where after restless youth I settled down and learned noble chivalry and love tact. But I could devote myself to this one. But I could devote myself to this one, whose radiance shines on me like the sun. So maybe we should like sort of like give an introduction to Dewey Death. So who is Dewey Death, and why does he have the M16, and what's this about the bullet of the M16 being Dale fired at the source of the heart of the Fred of the 20th century Fred Matrix, which is now about to die, about to be terminated because Dewey Death is the executioner, and rather than impose 6,000 years of Dewey Death on Earth, we'll just take care of it with one shot of the Fred M16. But just remember that Dale is a double-edged bullet, and what you fire as Dale might eventually come back to haunt you as M16 bullets aimed at your brain. So that's something I learned, in 1984, and that's what my 42-year voyage to back to Hackensack from the front lines of Afghani terrorists took has taken so long to take care of, because we could have cut out this whole adversary cancer in 1986, when the Judge Liu became the head of became the independent counsel of the Iran Contra Independent Council, while I was infiltrating the fascist doctor and psychiatrist in Hackensack. And there was like a beautiful convergence of Liu legal and do military strategies coming together. And then who blew it out of the water? Bob Dole, the guy who didn't even have the use of two arms. So you go figure. What are the politicians hiding? What are the politicos hiding? And don't talk to me about politicos, because Uncle Donald I support absolutely with Huey advisement, but and also Drew Christ. But I think I might have told you this one last time, but here's a United States red, white, and blue funny joke. No matter what your political no matter what your political leanings are. So a guy goes into a Barnes and Noble and goes up to the counter and says, "Do you have Donald Trump's book on exporting illegal aliens?" And the person behind the counter goes, "Get the hell out of here and don't come back." And the guy goes, "Yeah, that's the name." So, actually, St. Andrew is seeming to have technical difficulties. Let me read you a Valentine's Day poem, which from probably about 2012, 2014 or something. It's called "A True Heartdale Celebration." Heartdale is what I call Valentine's Day. So it's "You have given me, dear Elizabeth, a reason for my every breath, for you're sexy, smart, and fine, and agreed to be my Valentine, which I take as a positive sign. I can exist with realistic hope, with you passion I can scope, because just in nick of time, you gave meaning to my rhyme. To seek reality sober and straight, so need for intoxicants did abate, when each other we did meet, to pursue a great romantic feat that led me to amorous bliss, even if we've yet to kiss. For I cherish everything about you, which keeps me from becoming blue about the problems of my life that once caused me deep strife. But you've set my spirit free by your loving concern for me. So, welcome back, co-host. Everything under control? Your computer, your computer just like fritzed out.
Yes, I think our frequency was, causing some
Little.
consternation
So,
in the
so just
technology.
so just remember that 1980, the Democratic vice presidential candidate was Fritz Mondale. So Doc called me Mondale for like 20 years because he was a Democrat. But when people ask me about that election, I'd say I don't want the red phone in the bedroom of the president ringing, fritzing when there's an important call.
No, we don't want anything fritzing. I
And,
do.
And the other thing is, if you take the French meaning of mon, which is my, if he had become president, I would have become everybody's property, which I wasn't ready to do at the time.
I see what you did there. Okay. Okay. True that. No, I'm glad. I mean, it worked out clearly the way it needed to. So.
And okay, well, I think it's time, Dewey Jeff. If I tear up a little bit as I read this this poem, which is the reason for the do bullet being built this week to be aimed at the source of the 20th century Fred matrix, which existed from Friedrich Nietzsche's death and his incarnation as the warlord from in 1900, saying God is dead, to today. Well, let me just make sure I got the right date. It's a weekend due 1/17 year 0 AF. So, not to distract from with the date, but this is the reason this bullet was being built to
No,
end.
we're announcing where in space and time this transmission is coming from. It might be relevant to some people.
Okay, well, this actually the actual transmission is coming. What you're saying, Andrew, is let's jail. So I am Roger Joseph Dale Edward Walsh, Alan Tompkins Walsh, sitting in the duck nest, recording the podcast with my greatest ally, Andrew Reinhold, on what is it, Tuesday? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It is
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, which is in the new due calendar, which we will explain at length in time. But basically, it's the weekend of the third week of the due calendar. It's the 21st day of the calendar, and this the name for the sixth day is weekend, and during the weekend we see what Dewey Des has concocted to have fun on the weekend, whether it's an execution of something that needs to be dealt with, or whether it's a hope. Pretty soon it will be beyond shots of the M16. It's going to be a lot more fun. It will be like talking about opening new roller coasters and all sorts of magic mountains. So, as we turn the Earth into the Disneyverse. But basically, at this point, we're just dealing with the old issues before year 0 AF. And
Yeah,
that's what
there's some
that's
ripples
what the
coming back.
steel
It's
bullet. This is what the steel bullet is aimed at the heart source of.
okay. I like it.
So it seems you're back clear and clear and
Yeah. Fingers crossed the technology cooperates. I'm inside too, so that should help some. I mean, that chime, bro. I mean, you understand, like, I mean, I know you understand actually. You understand that frequency, like, it's so, when I'm open like this, yeah, like, we're
that's
bringing it in, right? We're bringing it in. That
right,
that
right,
that DIALINA energy is just, whoo, and
right,
so that's maybe just a little more powerful than this device is capable of handling at the moment.
right. But we're still, what I say is everybody incarnates at the moment they think they're tough enough to take it. And a lot of people just aren't tough enough to make it.
Yeah.
And so basically, Dewey Death is here, Andrew, come here, Andrew. So your next deal will be the one that releases the. No, I won't put that responsibility on you because Dewey Death is the only one who can terminate. So I won't put that responsibility of the trigger deal on you. But so basically, uh, within the next 5 minutes, uh, we are marching the prisoner out. Oh, I know. So this is the Lou reason, not the law reason, the Lou reason for this execution by Dewey Death, because this termination by Dewey Death, because obviously we don't take terminations lightly. So this is the story of Zayla, who is the greatest heroine in my great novel, Velvet Velour's Follies, Book 2, or The Flight of DIALINA, which is my bestseller for the 20th century, even though nobody read it because it was too advanced for them. But anyway, so Zayla is ultimately the greatest heroine of that book. And about a year and a half ago, and her greatest moment it is described in the book in 2317. So you can read the book to find out what happens, but basically she she is the chosen bride of God, and God comes back to claim her. So and that's in 2317 in present Earth years. But basically, in fact, I connected with Zayla. Uh, I connected with Zayla as a person in May of 2024, I think it was. And she and I just, I knew that she was something special, but I didn't know how special. But I named her Zayla pretty quickly, and she has been Zayla. But the trials and tribulations she's been through are absolutely biblical and 21st American century scope. I well, the 30-second summary is she her father left her because he was an alcoholic, and leaving his her Jewish mother, who had never done anything but take care of her children and him, totally fucked. And so, long story short, Zayla couldn't support the mortgage. They were foreclosed. They basically wandered the streets of Dayton, Ohio for 3 months in the winter without help. The mother ultimately died, and her name for me was Eddie, and her last words were, "Say hello, Daddy," for me. So that was phase one. Her mother died, but now for the last 3 months, she and her sister, who she's reunited with, have been living in a shed that I've been paying $100 a month for, and this is like the princess of the DIALINA commander. You don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can sense how deeply this goes, but
Yes.
um, I'm not, in fact, I'm not going to even read the sentence because it's too it is too emotional for me just to think back. It's the trauma of the Fred pass, because she yesterday she wrote me the most loving uh, lovingly passionate letter, not sexual passionate, but just lovingly passionate letter on a telegram. It was like the most touching thing I'd ever received, and to me that meant Thela is down, and the first scale of the DIALINA script is complete because she is definitely on the DIALINA now. And the bullet, the Dale bullet from the M16 is is hitting right now. Dale. No big explosion, no dramatics. It just poof. The 20th century Fred Matrix just exploded. Into infinite pieces that ultimately could come back together but won't, because that's the will of the DIALINA. It's just been deleted from the memory banks, and you know, if you think of the memory of the DIALINA memory as the Akashic records of every person who's ever known Dale, then you basically just wiping the slate clean, never to come back, sending it into big space.
Yeah. Thank you, Dale. It's important. We're here for the entire experience, right? And sometimes that means we're laughing, and sometimes that means we're crying. And I think it's beautiful to witness all of it, and I hope our audience feels that too, because ultimately it's an expression of love, and that's what we're here for.
Well, I don't know if I can slip out so you don't.
Bro, I'm gonna bust you. He's literally in his boxers filming this episode.
So,
He's no. I'm gonna tell the rest of this. You shut up.
okay.
He's
I'm a 70-year-old man who likes to sit in his boxers till 12 till noon. So kill me. Boxers are manly. So basically, if you don't like me in my boxers, you don't have to listen. But I'm the red, white, and blue anyway. So boxers are a lot more American than jockey shorts. Testicle heating and make you impotent. So there, Andrew. I'm not going to be embarrassed, but I
okay, and there we go, guys. That's the full motherfucking range right there, right?
can't find my poem. I wrote a poem called "Living in THC on THC."
Yeah, yes, correct. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. During my glitch, I decided to go say hi to Gabby real quick. And yeah, so we're hanging out now, and she's lovely to spend time with.
Actually, we were on the same wavelength because I just used the last of my Gabby in preparation.
Wouldn't you know it? Okay, so here we are. We're doing this, right? Like, this is what it feels like to be in it, in the kingdom, and
Realm.
in the
Well,
and anyone can join us. It's not hard. You just gotta let go of some shit.
you just got to deal.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the deal. but so what my current statement is, I am a king. No, I am a resident in the realm of the kingdom of the Lord.
Yeah.
And whoever your Lord is, and I just said no, you know, the DIALINA is complete, Commandrew, and that means that the efficacy and the success of day-to-day living has been proved because I've made it through 70 years. And I still have incurable psychotic bliss. Which is something I turned over to Pete, too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that's gonna be the new drug, bro. I mean, the masses will be experiencing incurable psychotic bliss any
And it's
moment.
very contagious.
It's very contagious. Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
so I told you I was like working on a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I mentioned my diagnosis of psychotic bliss is, and someone says a psychotic bliss is something sounds like something you would get on a street corner in Chicago.
Yeah, I need to grow a strain and just call it psychotic bliss, and
Yeah,
we'll placebo people, the people who can't quite get there on their own.
right.
No, there's all this fear around being perceived as crazy, and it's adorable, but like, why? It's so fucking limiting. The human is meant to express, and sometimes that looks weird, and it looks like a kid wiggling around getting some energy out.
You should see me in the morning before I get before I reach jail in the morning. You know, I like I'm doing. I want to be your underdog at the top of my voice, and Green Day, and I really think the Green Day is the secret to to happiness and not bliss. Just like I meant. I realized that Shane, I think, and Gabby's group, like like created like a whole like soft, mellow. I don't know. He created some sort of like soundtrack for me. They thought would like calm me down. I don't want to be calmed down. I want to have fun. I want to. I want to like just like be like radiance to everybody, and through that radiance, give them that radiance, and that's how psychotic bliss works. Mental illness is contagious, especially mine. And
Yeah.
if you think you're going psychotic, scale yourself. Just
Right.
plant your butt, plant your feet, and say where the hell you are and what you want to do.
I would recommend a deep breath. Why not?
Exactly, exactly. Breathe, and just like say, where am I? What am I doing? Not even what am I doing, just where am I? And just become
It's to
fully
orient
aware
yourself in
and
time and
present.
space, right?
Right.
We are experiencing time and space. We chose this experience. It's a very unique and very special experience, and so let's be in that, but then also be aware that we are the creators of this experience, and therefore it can be whatever experience we want. And wouldn't we want an experience where the ripples that come back are things we enjoy, things that bring us pleasure? Like, not that every moment is going to be feel like, I mean, we just saw it, right? We saw the range of emotion, and so to experience it all, but to put out the love.
Well, you, I had so and rather than experience it is to feel. Well, I had the word. It slipped away, uh, but it's not just experiences. It's to be consciously aware of the environment. it's not the experience that's important that determines whether you're crazy. It's the environment. So if you have a secure environment, you can let your mind go anywhere, and that's what I'm really learning. And that's really what's been liberating for me in the last 3 weeks. Is just, you know, I'm in Hackensack that I've been here for 50 years. See, no matter what happens with the DIALINA, with neutronic rainbow mushroom clouds, Hackensack is secure. And therefore, my environment allows me to explore ideas and explore realms of the kingdom. They're basically as yet unexplored.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
that's open to everybody.
Of course. I mean, that's why we're sharing this this information with people is so they can become aware of these opportunities to create your own reality and to create safety for yourself to because the safety does I mean bro, at the retreat, safety, safety, safety. I heard it over and over again. And I also heard it reflected back to me that I was a safe person. I felt my frequency allowed people to experience a deeper level of safety within themselves.
Right.
And so that's one of my gifts. That's one of my things to share.
Absolutely.
And but you're right. Without that, your ability to create is so limited. So it's important to resource that. However, and that's one great way to do it. It's just grounding into the now. Where am I? Are my feet on the ground? Where are my feet? Where are they planted? And it's because it is easy to float off into space. I've seen it, and there's people who feel like they're living in space, and there's people who are living only on the ground. And I think it's the beauty is to be able to dance in between those realms.
Well, the beauty of Dale to Dale is you can Dale any from one moment, or you can Dale for 1 year, you can Dale for 50 years. But the fact is, the Dale to Dale is a process that lets you. I mean, if you just, I mean, just the basic movement of going, standing, say, one place, and then a day later doing the same thing wherever you are, that helps you create a pattern of life that helps you direct where you're going and understanding where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're way over our usual hour. We're hour 12 minutes, but actually hour 13 now. But it's been I think it's been well worth it. And uh, shall we how shall we end this? I could have one. I think people are poemed out, but I could try one more from my earliest book and
Well,
see
I would
if
just like
that.
to resolve our. If we're gonna call this boomers versus something, I just want to resolve
Well,
that real quick.
you're right. You're right. Okay. And
Because
what's your
ultimately,
thought?
well, ultimately, it's never this versus that. It's all one thing, right? And so we can put these labels on it and kind of have this dance with 3D or like this consensus dream that seems to be happening out there. That's fine. But and maybe that helps people kind of conceptualize it. But to me, at the end of the day, this is this is about consciousness
Right.
and this realm that we're shifting to requires a certain level of consciousness, a certain frequency,
Well,
and because we're looking for good vibes, right? We're
well,
not bringing.
what you're saying is that there is no contrast. There's werewolves and flower children, and all boomers have that within them. And every dawn is a new Dale, and every Dale you get to decide. Am I going to further exploit and consume the earth, or am I going to get back? And that's basically what the legacy of the boomers will be, and even though I'm
How
like,
about how about has been? Let's just leave a little opening. How about that?
okay, it has been, but but also I coming from a very like inner circle type of baby boomer, through my education
I
and
mean,
everything.
brother, do you not see that you are identified with that group and you are an example of the opposite of what we're talking about?
Exactly.
Okay, and you
But,
just
well,
said it. Every day, every
but that's why I say, every day it's a choice. But I think, I feel that 50% of the people a large percentage of the people that I went to school with are more interested in their own family and their own comfort and wealth rather than being aware enough to be able to see that they don't have to use their money for charity. What I'm saying is just to I you know I might be thinking in terms of money instead of self, but basically I just feel that like a lot of boomers are still in the mindset of all I want is what I can get. And that's what the werewolf is, and the flower child is how can I serve through my experience?
yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, where I'm at is I'm not going to project an experience onto anyone. I'm just choosing not to do that anymore. But what you're saying does seem to feel like what is happening out there, probably. But I'm like, I'm not even gonna, I'm not doing that anymore. It doesn't feel necessary.
Well,
But you're right. There is a choice. There's a At the end of the day, there is a choice people make on how to engage with reality, and you gave two choices that do seem to exist, right? And materialism and modernity and the things we've been doing, or like you said, service, more outward directed, more connected, more abundant.
letting the children be proud of us instead of just saying they were like greedy bitches. They were greedy
Sure,
narcissists.
change the legacy. Absolutely. Why not? I mean, why not?
Right.
It's never too late.
Every day is a day. Go deal to deal. And tomorrow is game day, so everybody enjoy your boards and remember that if you reach a point where you can't, where you're stuck, you can always reset with Dale.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, y'all. We love you guys. Dale has his Live Love program that is designed to support the family members of people with schizophrenia and other severe mental health issues. He's an excellent resource. It's his lived experience that he has the ability to share with you and bring a lot of I think peace and comfort to those who are going through what can probably be some really intense times. So I encourage you to.
And the only letters behind my name are BA,
And what would those stand for?
Bachelor of Arts,
Okay, okay.
from
Well,
Barely Dickinson University, magna cum laude. I
he
was
got
the
his
top of my class.
he got his doctorate through the School of Hard Knocks, and
No, it's just St. John, my mental hospital.
well, that was the school, yes. And
That was where I got my metaphysical surgeon training.
anyway, he is offering a service that I think a lot of people could benefit from, and I hope you take an opportunity to check out his link in our show notes. So,
And thank you as ever for a great show, Andrew. And if people don't like it, well, you don't have to. You don't have to like it.
yeah, we
We're
exercise your
we're
free will at all times. That's fine.
and that doesn't stop the depth of the truth we're speaking. That's what we always bear in mind, and that's why we keep piling on, even though What was the statistic? 80% of podcasters stop before six episodes.
That's what I heard. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're way past that.
We're four times past that, and we're just picking up steam. So go Dale to Dale, jump on the Dialina before Friday, and I hope and just watch the bullet. The bullet has hit the source heart of the 20th century Fred matrix, which is terminated as of today. So if you're a higher being, a higher conscious being, concrete being, then you will move through the earth, through Gaia, while only the ghosts remain on earth and you won't notice them.
There it is.
Okay, well, have a great bite. I hope that helped everybody.